Imagine waking up thinking you're about to watch a good old survival episode, and instead HBO turns Joel's skull into a piece of modern art. Yep, folks, episode 2 didn't just knock on the door of your emotional stability, it kicked it open and then used that same foot to shove Joel straight into a narrative coffin. Thought HBO had already emotionally wrecked you with bloody weddings and dead dragons? Think again. They looked at Pedro Pascal and went, "Let's rerun the Oberyn trauma, but with more snow, more clickers, and absolutely zero mercy." But here's the kicker. The episode tries to be 2 episodes at once. One half is a tense psychological drama, the other is Michael Bay with mushrooms. The result? The show's most important death ends up competing with a roided-out bloater blowing up an NPC you met, like 30 seconds ago. It's like ordering BBQ for your birthday and getting sushi, set to the soundtrack of Mad Max. Now, here comes the nerdy bit. Because yes, we do explain trauma with science. When Joel saves Abby, yes, that Abby who later slaps him with a game over screen using a golf club, the viewer's brain just short-circuits. Cognitive dissonance at max volume. You've been trained to hate the killer, and now you're supposed to root for her survival? It's like the writers used theory of mind to hack your moral compass, then tossed it into a bonfire along with your remaining hope. That moment hits harder than a mom slap the night before finals, and while the camera waltzes between Abby's awkward coworkers and Ellie's frozen, horror-struck face, it becomes painfully clear. The Last of Us has no interest in you feeling okay, ever, at any point, and that's totally fine. Also, shout out to the directing team for turning pure violence into a sensory art piece. It's basically a TED Talk on revenge, narrated by Hannibal Lecter. Production-wise, the episode probably burned through more money than a small town's annual budget just to show clickers sprouting out of the snow like evil fridge zombies. Visually, stunning. Narratively, a glorious mess. Like a Power Rangers episode written by Dostoevsky. And while half the cast is blowing up mid-fight, the other half is sitting in the emotional bleachers waiting for their cue to sob. Joel dies off-screen, and HBO treats it like poetry. Spoiler alert, it's not. It's a war crime in storytelling. This episode is shock therapy, not in a healing way, but in a pay HBO to be emotionally wrecked in 58 minutes kind of way. The problem? No focus, no breathing room, no dramatic pause before the storm that makes you feel the impact. Here, the storm shows up screaming, "Surprise!" with a golf club in hand. If you haven't yeeted your phone across the room yet, now's a good time to hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment like, "Abby gave me more trauma than my SATs." Or better yet, "This episode hit me harder than adulthood ever did." Because the only thing more contagious than the fungus is the thirst for revenge. See you in the next review, or the next emotional breakdown, whichever comes first.